Welcome back, and this is part number 4 of the High Value Women series. I'm sure if you're watching this video by now, you've already watched part 1, part 2, part 3. Well, hopefully if you were smart, you really took advantage of this series, because this is a free series that I recently just started on my channel, and I want ladies to take full advantage of that. Because, I mean, as I say in all my videos, we talk so much about being high value women and how we want high value men and we need more high value women in the society. But let's just talk about how to really become one. And I really wanted to cover all aspects, right? Whether it's your behavior, your character, your energy, your aura, your outlook on life, your mindset, of course your looks play a big part, and well, money plays a big part in that then also. But today, we're talking about spirituality. So if you're a woman of God, then this video may be for you. And if you're not, well, maybe still watch it, because you may just have a new perception, we don't know. So today I wanted to cover how the high value women work in faith, because faith is going to be an integral part of your journey if you want to go on and become the high value women. Because now here's the thing, an average person probably doesn't have that much faith. Everybody just goes with the flow, and they just, when you go with the flow, you're a dead fish, and then the waves of the ocean can land you in the mouth of a shark. What you gonna do then? So you always live in a very reactive space, and I would never recommend you to live in a very reactive space. I think you should not live in a reactive space. You should in fact bring about changes, start movements, make others react. You lead, you sit in the driving seat, and that doesn't mean you have to become masculine. Hell no. The thing about high quality women is that, well, assertiveness is the basics. We've covered that in part 1, right? Assertiveness, being stoic, basic stuff, right? And it always takes guts and a certain level of boldness to be a high value woman. So of course, bold, high value women are always sitting in the driving seat. That's that. So they know that they have a certain control on their own life. When a high value woman walks in faith, there is no such thing as we'll see what happens, blah, 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 but then stress when things happen, right? When you're in the driving seat, what happens is you already know what you want, what you're gonna get. Now you're gonna work towards, setting your frequency in a certain way. You work on becoming that version of you that deserves that thing that you want, and you take full accountability and responsibility for that, right? That is what I mean when I say sit in the driving seat of your life, because then you are now entering the queen era, and the queens have responsibility. They have a certain level of accountability. They can't just be princesses and wake up whenever they want, because they don't have much responsibility. They don't have things to look after. They don't have people to look after. They don't have families to look after and take care of. They're just that, little princesses. But if you want to be the queen, the high value women, you better be ready for accountability, responsibility, and a lot of faith. Okay, you will be walking in faith, because okay, this is my decision. This is what I want. Now I hope God is going to be on my side. Let me have faith, right? And when you walk so strongly in faith, it's almost like whatever comes your way, God knows. And God knows what you want. God is always there to help you. God puts certain things in your life at certain times where you're like, wow, this is exactly what I needed. Oh my God, thank you. Right? And that in return strengthens your faith more and more and more. And the same with people. God is going to put like certain people in your life that you'll be like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed, and I didn't even know. That's interesting. Maybe that's exactly what I was wishing for, but maybe I thought I was never deserving of that. And remember that being a high value woman also means that you should think that you are deserving enough. Never think that I would really wish that, but I'm not sure if I deserve that. Well, that's a small girl energy. That's like the Uber girl that we talk about so much. If you want to know who the Uber girl is, just watch my previous lives and you will know. But the Uber girl is a very below average vibe of a girl. She lives on a very surface level. So there's nothing special about her life, like just average, nothing high quality. And very reactive. Very, very reactive. I will always shame you if you are a highly reactive person. Why are you triggered so easily? Because a high quality woman is not triggered easily. No, she has faith. She knows what's coming her way. She's ready. She's expecting it. It's like, I want it, got it, done. That's faith. And even when there is turbulence, no problem. We know what's coming. We know what we want. Other people cannot trigger us or make us confused or turbulent. No, they can't cause these things for us, right? Because we know where we're headed, we know what we want, we know how to be strategic. And even if we don't be strategic, we just kind of know how to set our standard frequency in such a way that it matches the frequency of the thing that we desire, of the life that we desire, of the money that we desire, of the kind of people that we desire in our life, right? And when I talk about people, remember, I'm always talking about you're having your own family, the men that you want, the friendships that you want. So that's what I mean when I say people, because I think when I make videos, I never want to just say how to attract a man and have a man. I think that's a very weird way of looking at life. Like everything that you do is because man. No, everything that you do is because you and you. Does that make sense? Because when you work on yourself, then you have a whole life to live, for example, right? Like look at it that way. You don't just have a man in your life. You will have children. You have siblings, you have parents, you have brothers, you have uncles, you have class fellows, you have friendships, you have colleagues at work. There's like 100 people that you have to deal with throughout your life as a woman, right? It's not just attracting a man and man. Like I find that so ridiculous when all the content is surrounded by just high value women and then high value men, because that's all we're trying to attract. No, I need you to become a whole damn woman, because do you know what? You are not here to attract just a man, because you are here to attract health, wealth, abundance, peace, ease, cash flow, money, ease, good relationships, good health, great dynamics between you and your partner, great at parenting your own children, having a healthy relationship with your own children, with your in-laws. Like that's what I want to cover for you as a whole woman, not just men. So watch my content with a very open mind, because I'm not going to talk about how to attract men. No, even though, by the way, this whole thing that we talk about in the trainings that we do, there is no way on earth that once you're done with these kinds of trainings that you won't attract a high quality, nice, traditional, old school provider type of man. Like you guaranteed you will. Like you just will, because you have become that woman who deserves that. You become that woman for whom that's the norm. That's all you attract. That's why. Because you are that cultured, traditional woman that every man wants. So that becomes your norm once you become that. So let's talk about becoming that, because faith is going to be such a big part in this process. Well, the rest of the things, of course, watch part number 1, part number 2, part number 3, which I've already done. And this is all going to be about faith. So when you have faith, right, at certain times you're going to face hardships and ease. But at both times, the good thing is, it's like I have this inner knowing, for example, that things will just work out. If I'm having problems today, no problem, things is just going to work out. Something will happen. And by the way, the fun part is, the more in touch you are with your intuition, let's say, which I talk about all the time, or the more you are, spiritually inclined towards maybe being more godly, let's say, for example, it always brings the right kind of things in your life. And why? Why is it? The reason is because you have a certain level of expectation, and when God is with you, magic is always happening in your life. That's the fun part. When a woman is walking in faith, she has so much faith that people cannot make her life turbulent. And even if anything happens, let's say, there's always an element of faith which will always put her in a better position in life eventually anyway. Like you'll be able to tell, wow, this person came out strong or grown. You've seen those men, you've seen those women that were probably belittled by every person around them, right? Nobody believed in them, let's say, or nobody thought they're good enough, or whatever. They've been tossed aside by everyone, let's say, or they have been bullied by everyone, let's say, like something happened, right? But then you see those people rise up way bigger and above than everybody else, right? That's how you know, this person has something on their side that we average people just don't have, and that is faith. That's God. And now you may not even be a religious person if you're watching me. Let's say you are an empath or all that, which no disrespect, like you can be any religion whatsoever, that's your choice. I don't discuss stuff like that, but I feel like still having faith in a power that's bigger than you is going to play such an important part in your journey of life, where if you say, for example, that I want to manifest this and I want to manifest that, well then guess what, there's a higher power than you that's going to help you manifest that. No, It's not going to be just you as a human being, I did this, I did. No, we don't do nothing. Believe when I say that we humans don't do nothing. It's always someone doing something for us. That's how life goes. There's always parents doing something for you. It's always that boss paying you more. It's always a husband giving you more. It's always your best son doing more for you. It's always your best friend putting you in the right direction. It's always a coach telling you the right thing to do, or signing you up into courses like the top 10% frequency course, because that sets you up for life. If you want health, wealth, abundance, money, the right man in your life, you gotta be the frequency. You gotta do the homework, right? You have to do the work so you become that person. So it's always people that do things for us, that put us in that kind of direction, that takes us where we were like, wow, this is my dream life. Hell, how did I get here? It's always because of people. It's always because of God, because He puts things, people, places, circumstances in your face where it's like, okay, now you need this right in your face. Now you need this right in your face. So it's always like this game that, God plays with us. And I take pleasure in that, because I don't really take things personally in a way where, why is this happening to me? Oh my God. I have had multiple times where maybe I thought, oh my God, how am I going to pay this rent or bills or whatever? Okay, not multiple, but a few times it happened, right? I'm not going to say multiple, because it was probably like 2 times, let's say. And I know that people have it worse, like I get it. Well, I was there too, okay? I mean, I remember one time, I think I've discussed this in my top 10% women frequency. I've talked about a lot of like personal stuff in there, which normally I feel like when I'm on social media, you will never know me as a person. I think it's only like very recently where I've started to like, talk more, like tell you guys my stories also, because I am an introverted person. So when I speak up or open up, I feel some kind of way about it. So I'm trying to get used to it, to like tell you guys more stories so you get to know me a bit more, like as a person, so you can relate to me a bit more. I don't want to be here and sound like a teacher and like systematic and robotic and straight up, No, I need you to see me as a real person who's also done the work, who's also seen all of these things that you are probably facing, and I have worked on those things, and that is why my life progresses the way it does. And since I want the same results for you too, of course I need you to do the work. Of course I need you to heal your inner child. Of course I need you to work on your traumas. Of course I need you to do the top 10% frequency course so that you get the elite level education and you open up your mind about money, health, wealth, abundance, and education, because it's not what you were taught in college and school and university. That was all rubbish. And I tell you this from experience, most of your life that you will live, right? It's all about unlearning the things that you learned as a child. So much of your life is about unlearning, not learning. Does that make sense? So in the top 10% frequency course, you unlearn a lot of BS that was fed into your mind. It's all green grass and it's nothing more than that. And you need to like unlearn all of those things to enter the top 10% women era so you can have it all. Why? Because, well, you are doing something that not everybody knows. You have some kind of information that not everybody has. You're working on certain things that not everybody can. They could if they were smart though. They weren't. That's why they will stay Uber girls and Kareem boy average people. But if you are working on thinking to become the high value women, there are certain things you have to know that others just don't. And it's not even about being arrogant. No, don't call people, sometimes you see high value women and you're like, oh my God, such a snob. They're not snobs. They just know certain things that you don't. And you will have never that kind of understanding that they do about the world, about money, about things. You are ignorant more than them. So always remember that. All these people that you see are above you, every one of them knows something that you just don't. So don't go and call them a snob. In fact, high value women, a smart women, the rich bitch energy, she is going to go and befriend those people. She's going to observe and know and like make friends with those people. That's what she is going to do, rather than sit on the sidelines with the rest of the Uber girls and then talk really bad things about that woman or that man or that uncle or that auntie, whoever it is. Don't be hating on these people. They know certain things you just do not know, and you will never know because you're still sitting on the sideline. You're not walking in faith. Walking in faith means these people are all trying their best to be great. No one's coming for me. No one's going to steal my ideas, my dreams. No. Let me just speak to the right people, however. I know things will work out. I know God is going to put the right people in front of me where if I discuss something or I open my mouth, I know that I'll learn something. I know that, God wants me to hear certain messages and it's coming for me. I just have to be ready to listen to those messages, right? And when you're ready, well, then it's all coming your way. Okay, the funny thing is I was live on my Instagram just like 10 minutes ago and somebody was like, we can tell you're back in Dubai by the condition of your hair because they become so coarse, dry, just so fluffy, just in a weird way, and just, yeah, the humidity here just kills your hair. I was so happy with my hair and skin the past 2 weeks that I was in London because my skin was glowing, my hair was shiny. Yeah, now I'm back. Well, welcome. By the way, on my channel, there will be another video coming out where I'm making a comparison. I think I've talked about this before, where I talked about the comparisons between UK, living in the UK, and then living in the UAE, and like the differences and the things that I've seen and felt and observed. And there's some really funny stories in there also. Anyways, let's get back to the point. The point was, we all go through things. And I have been in a place where I thought, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay the rent. In fact, I remember there was a time, I have discussed this in the top 10% frequency course. It's in module number 1. And I think I started with this story. And the story goes something like this. The younger me, lots of problems going on, whether it's the family, just health-wise, and just like generally life, like everything was just like a mess at that point, right? Like a few years ago. I had an exam to give, right? And well, I had to take the bus and go and give the exam. I did not even have money enough to go to school and give the exam. And I'm like sitting at the bus stop thinking, what am I going to do? Lots of problems were going on at that time. It was just overall a very bad time, like health-wise, financially, family, like a lot of things were going on at the time. And me being the eldest, daughter, I just kind of, how when you're the eldest one, you just don't want to be a problem. So you don't like taking. If anything, you like to give, So I was kind of in that situation, which I always was. But that day was like a big wake-up call for me. And I just entered like a whole new phase of myself. Like, I don't know how to explain. But I had no money. I'm sitting in the bus stop just thinking. I'm just like frozen in time just thinking. I remember that exactly. Like, I even remember what I was wearing at the time. Because it was such an eye-opening moment for me. Well, the bus came, which used to come every 25 minutes or so. The bus came and I'm like, well, let me try my luck. Maybe the driver is kind enough and he'll let me go. And I'm in London, right? So I get on the bus and I'm like trying my luck, I guess. And the driver was so rude. It was like a young middle-aged guy, like some white guy. And so rude. Like, how sometimes they just nicely tell you, it's not working, sorry. He was super like angry about it. You have to get out of the bus. And then I even remember I requested him slightly as well. Is it okay if I can just like get off after like just 2 stops? It's gonna save my walk or something. I tried my luck like as much as I could, right? And he was like, well, you have to get out of the bus right now because I have to go. There's people, blah, blah, blah. Like he was really loud and just like, it made me feel really like more worse than before. Of course, it's not his fault, like whatever. The UK has its own rules and like I get it. Of course, you have to pay the bus fare. I get it. And I just got out of the bus and I'm just thinking, okay, well, how am I going to get there? And like, what am I going to do? And how is this all going to happen? So I just got out of the bus and just still thinking, feeling way worse than before. What am I going to do now? Sit in the bus stop? And I'm sitting at the bus stop and I'm just thinking, okay, next bus is 20 minutes. I could try my luck again with the next driver, whatever, because sometimes they used to like let you go. If you're a student, whatever, it happens. But I think my luck was not working that day. I was like more miserable. With time, my energy level is going down. And if it happens when your frequency is set a certain way, you keep going down even further. Now more shit is coming your way, more shitty things are going to happen, more worse things are going to happen. All of that, it just piles up. On certain days you have that. Well, now I don't have those kinds of days anymore because my frequency is always like up high, hello, because I consciously do the work. But back then, of course, I was not as conscious or aware or awake, I guess. So I was always, facing these kind of experiences, and that day again was the worst. I'm thinking now what to do. So what I ended up doing, I ran to school. And by the way, I think on the bus it was like, let's say 15 minutes, right? Like 17 minutes roughly. If I walked, of course it was going to be like, I don't know, 35 minutes or something, or 40. I ran I can't walk. Hello, I have an exam. I ran. And I remember, well, that's the only option. You know, no point waiting 20 minutes, next driver, I'm going to be late for the exam anyway. Let me just run. You know, I ran to flipping school to give the damn exam, and I was like 10 minutes late, like literally just 10 minutes late. And the teacher and the principal was like, no, that's too late. No, we can't let you. I forced the hell out of them to please let me sit. And it was my GCSE exam, by the way. And I said, no, this is an important exam. I cannot miss them. My parents are going to kill me. Like, in my mind, there's already so much misery going on that I don't want to add on another problem which is coming from me, you know, for my parents or like whatever. So I had this really weird day and nothing was going the right way. Like everywhere there's like hurdles. So that day was really bad. Finally, after lots of back and forth, they let me take the exam. Damn. And I was rushing, quickly writing everything. Well, my exam went okay-ish in that subject, which was chemistry, which I never liked. But because I'm Asian, so my background was going to be biology and chemistry. Hello. So yeah, I was not very good at chemistry, and then the exam, and then my energy and like all of those things, it was just on my mind. And I don't know how I finished that exam, but I did, and I was out of there. And damn, I decided, do you know what? While now I was walking back home, now I chose to walk because now I have nothing to rush for. I walk back home, and all this time, all I can think of is like, Esha, you know what? Last time. This is it. And I'm quite a young person. Never again. So I think I used to have awakenings for a lot of things very early. Like this is just like one example, right? There's many such random things here and there, which I know a lot of us go through. Maybe you have gone through way more than this. I don't know your story. All of us have, right? And that is why at one point you just gotta wake up. You just gotta start having faith. But before faith, you need to decide and plan also. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep sitting here and just have faith, everything is just gonna happen. That's not really how it works. You know, you have to have a plan. Okay, this is exactly what I want. You talk about manifestations all the time, for example. Like, it's such a big thing nowadays. You know, manifestations. Okay, well, there's people who manifest through the universe. I'm a Muslim, so of course, naturally, when I am manifesting, I am more so asking God to, be helpful or whatever. I'm not going to be asking the universe as per se, right? Like the higher powers, this and that. Listen, you can call these things different names. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's God, right? It's that power, basically. And God has different names for all of us in different religions, let's say. But eventually, it's the same thing, right? So, well, as a Muslim, I, of course, will ask God. You will ask the universe. You will ask the earth, the fire, the elements, the water, the whatever it is that you do as your rituals. Well, these things are powerful again, but again, I'm just saying, as a Muslim, I will have a lot of faith and I will ask God to do things for me, or like, I'll expect that from God. That's the power that I'm going to believe in and ask everything and, stuff like that, right? If you're a Muslim, of course, you know what I'm saying. When I'm recording a video, I never know how to sit. Should I lean into the camera? Should I be back here? Because then that gives me a double chin. Should I be up here like a teacher? I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to be random, okay, whatever. I hope the light at the back is not really disturbing the video. Or should I just sit over here like that? Yeah, so the light, because I am too lazy to get up and switch off the damn light right now. I'm Aries. Even though Aries is not lazy, but well, I don't know what's going on with me though. Let me tell you another story about how faith is going to be so important for you. I remember my grandmother. And my grandmother was this very powerful, assertive, stoic, all the things that we talked about in part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. She was the embodiment of all of those things. And so every time I would see her, I was like, oh, this lady, I mean, wow. How she does all of these things, well, I don't know. She was powerful, wealthy, healthy, stoic, assertive, bold. Oh dear, was she able to manifest? Of course, at the time, I'm a child. For me, it's just like, wow, Now I understand. Now I see things. Of course, now I know more. So now I see how smart was that woman. She was so giving, kind, charitable. She was taking care of so many things. She was so giving. She manifested a husband. She comes from a very poor childhood. When she came into my grandfather's life, my grandfather is a very wealthy man, comes from generation of wealth. And then my grandmom, she comes from a very simple kind of family, but well, they liked each other, so they got along, and then they got married. So it's that kind of a story. And she manifested the love of her life, a whole flippin' palace where she lives, okay? Like everything that you can think of, that woman just, she has it all. Like, such an example. People from like different cities would come to her because she is like the guru. Like, she advising people, she is giving, she's kind, she's solving people's problems. She was like literally that woman. So when she passed away, I remember, like, this is the story that's just been running on my mind recently. So I just thought maybe today I can discuss that. It's a very personal story. She passed away. I remember looking at, I like sitting on the side and I'm just looking at my grandfather. He came in, and on her deathbed, of course, there's like lots of women surrounding, everywhere there's women. And there's ladies over there who, by the way, come from like far, 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 far cities and places to come for her only, to pray for her. And the house didn't even have that much space to fit in all of these women, and non-stop they're coming. So her dead body had to be there for like 3 days because still people are coming every day. And that's kind of unusual because normally in our religion, of again, when they die, you're supposed to bury them the same day, if not next morning, be done with it. Like, it has to be done quickly. We don't really, like, it's not recommended to keep the body over there for too long. It's not good. So, we had to give her the 3 days. She was there for 3 days. There's too many people coming for her, and oh my God, the world knew her, but for such good reasons. And anyway, I'm looking at the bed where she's, the body is, and my grandfather comes in, and again, he's old. He was around 9 or 10 years older than her, and he's like, "You've gone, huh?" Like, just with so much love and so much tears. And my grandfather was like very like tall, powerful, assertive, strong, angry man, kind of. But with her, it was a completely different story. And he's like, "You've gone, huh? You've left me alone and heartbroken over here. Go stay in peace. I'm coming soon too." And I still remember that, like, exactly like these words that he used. I am a child over here, and I'm thinking, what are women, right? I don't know. I was just, even though of course I'm sad, we're all crying, but at the same time, like, in that moment, I thought, you know what? This is how you should live life. You're leaving children behind who are like coming, they're flying in from different countries, and you have so many people like coming in from different cities. The whole world is coming for you today, and your husband is like, he can't even live without you, and he's like, "Go, I'm coming soon too." And well, in a few months, he passed away as well, and that woman had everything. She had everything. And now that I look back and I think about these things, I can clearly see the difference between two women sitting together in a place, and I can tell you completely who has the Uber girl energy and who has the rich bitch energy and who is really living that fulfilling life. It's gonna show on her face. Even if she don't speak, don't open her mouth, I can tell you from afar, this is a high quality woman. They don't have to speak. Like, I think this kind of wisdom, or like, whatever, this knowing, this inner knowing, you will either get it when you educate yourself too much on the subject, which I'm not gonna lie, I do that a lot. I study all the time. But also when you see these examples in front of you, ever since you were a child, you can start distinguishing between people very, very quickly. When you have a grandmother like this, but then the rest of the family women are just like the normal average women. They have their own concepts and their own way of living, which is very below average or whatever. But this woman lived her full potential best self. And I think maybe that's why sometimes, I was just thinking the other day, maybe that's the reason I love coaching people or like guiding people, because I'm very good at directing your energy where it should be. You may be doing this job or this thing or that thing, but as soon as you speak with me and you open up your mouth, I can tell what's going on in your life. I'll tell you, hey, this is going on, let's do this. Like, I waste no time, and I tell you straight up, girl, this is going on, you gotta do this. And women will always tell me, always. Even if they're 20 years older than me, they're always going to tell me, how do you already know my story? I didn't even tell you anything yet. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know, okay? Maybe it's a God-given gift, or maybe I just have it in my DNA because of my grandmother. My grandmother was helping the whole damn world. The kind of things or problems or whatever she was seeing, in people, like, we've heard it all. We've heard it all. Like, there was a time when I used to do a lot of Facebook lives, and a lot of women were like, how does she know so much about like relationship dynamics and blah blah blah? Back when I was still in college, like still a very, very young person. Well, I'm still young, so of course people still think the same thing about me. And people always used to, well, tell me, I think you've been divorced a few times. Probably that's why you know all these things, blah blah blah. And it's like, nah, no, I wasn't. I wasn't even married at the time. Like, hello. So, people would make all of these assumptions and say this and say that and all of those things. But I think it's only because of my grandmother. No one else. I cannot sit here and lie to you that maybe it was my mother or maybe my auntie or maybe my friend or maybe my class teacher or anything. No, no, grandmother. That's how it's coming to me. And I totally believe I have embodied like the whole wisdom and knowledge, of my own grandmother. The lots of great memories that we had and whatever I used to see her working on and all of that. She was adored by her husband, respected by the whole damn world. The family was taking care of her. She had everything left, right, center at her fingernails. And that is why when I created the top 10% frequency course, I couldn't help but just keep thinking about my grandmother, like how amazing she was with her wisdom and knowledge and all of those things, and what an abundant, healthy, wealthy, rich life that she lived. That woman traveled the world, and she came from a very poor background, very much, but making it all happen and manifesting. Like, talk about real manifestation, honey. That's what she did. She changed her whole life around, and she was changing everybody's life also who were around her. And of course, naturally, her husband couldn't help but love her more and more and more. Like, they had so much love, they couldn't even live without each other. Everywhere they would travel, they are going together. Even the children take a back seat if we are going. So they still would be like dating even when they were a lot older. They had that kind of beautiful dynamics between each other, which is something I will always remember, and I will try to, of course, always embody that in my own relationship and in my own friendships also. But what a woman was she. And sometimes I feel like, how proud am I to like come through that? Like, I come from the same generation, or like that DNA. It's in me, which I think now only makes sense to me as I'm talking. It makes sense why I'm a coach and why this was like my inner calling. I have done multiple different things. Of course, I have done jobs when I was at college. I've tried different things, working at clinics, pharmacies, all of those things. But only when I started to really get in touch with my inner self, my intuition, my inner wisdom, which all of you have, my inner intuition, my creativity, that's when I started to know, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing this. What am I wasting my time with? And I did not waste any time. I was like, done. This is it. And as soon as I decided, I was signing up students left, right, center already. Talk about decisions, the power of decision and manifestation. It has a lot to do with decisions, by the way. If you want to manifest, first, decide, what do you want? You cannot just sit in the passenger seat and be like, well, wherever the world takes me, wherever the driver takes me, I'll just go. That's not how you manifest. You manifest when you sit in the driving seat. But the problem with some of you ladies is that you think that if I sit in the driving seat, that actually means that I'm becoming masculine. No, you're not. So what do you think made my grandmother become all of this? Charitable, kind, religious, praying all the time, such strong faith, you couldn't budge her. Nothing. Zero. She would look you in the eye like a cold ass woman, like she don't care. Nothing affects that woman. Nothing. She never said, oh, if I become assertive, or if I earn too much, or if I do too much, then maybe, I'll be too masculine, or my husband is gonna leave me. No. Why? Because she's the whole embodiment of a goddess. And goddesses, they have no problem running empires, but have the love of their life on their side also, who's also a very masculine man. It's a misconcept that if you work, or if you, sit on the driving seat, let's say, then you will only attract the feminine men. No. If anything, you're going to attract more powerful men. So relax with that. You have to be the whole embodiment of a goddess. And that means kind, charitable, have something over here, have a good heart, be giving. Make sure you're a healed version of yourself and work on the frequency. Because what set that woman apart from the rest, now I can clearly say why it was, because it was just the frequency. She had a whole completely frequency, and in her world, in her realm, this was the norm for her. However, for an average woman, that's not the norm. She can't even wrap her head around these kinds of things and these kinds of manifestations and abundance and all of those things, right? That woman was living in a palace. She had a certain frequency. From where she came from, she removed all the generational curses, no money blockages. She worked on those things. She's got it all. And she lived with it as if she deserved it. There was no such thing as self-sabotage, blah, blah, blah. You know, when you don't come from much, let's say, and you get it all one day all of a sudden, it's like, oh, now I got it all, but you're still not at peace. Why? Because you're going to be like, well, my inner self-worth doesn't deserve all of this. So let me make problems. Let me be a drama queen. Because I don't deserve all of this. Oh my God, I feel a certain kind of way. How comes this happened to me? No, it can't be. I can't believe it. No, this is too magical for me. This is too big for me. No, it shouldn't be me. It should have been someone else. Because you think you're not deserving. So when you think you're not deserving, you self-sabotage your own happiness. And that is not what women of faith do. Women of faith are like, this is what I want. It's coming my way. And I'm fully accepting it with open arms. I'm just going to wait for God's timing. But I know what I want. Well, it's coming my way. That's called faith. And that is the high value woman. Another point I would like to make clear in this video is that as a high value woman, you will just know because God has your back, not humans. You know, as they say, you're the sum of the average 5 people that you hang around with, right? So who do you have around you? It shouldn't be that many people. 4 or 5 people, let's say, for women, right? It should never be more than that anyway. If you're a high quality woman, we talked about this in part number 1. If you're a high quality woman, there's no such thing in your life as like, I am bored, I don't know what to do, boring time, bored, killing time. What is that? What a weird low vibe expression. Uber girl. Only have a few people, but the right one. But at the same time, just know that not every human being will have your back anyway. They're not going to back up your plans, you know, your wish to get this or your desires for manifesting this and that. Well, they can't care less. Even if they do, they still want to keep you there where you're at only because, well, why would they help you? Listen, who wants to create competition for themselves? Tell me, will you? Who wants to create a threat for themselves? Will you? If you and me are friends today, for example, I tell you all my plans, big plans, I'm ambitious. Let's say I'm the ambitious one and you're not, let's say, which is fine if you're not, it's fine. If I say I want this, most of the time you'll be a little scared for me. You'll be like, where are you trying to go? Like, no, it's going to be too much for you. It's going to be too much risk for you, girl. Why do all of this? Too much burden. Leave it. Don't. Because you will also know in your mind that if she goes, then, well, she won't give me the time of the day. She's gone. She's going to become a better version of herself. Then that's going to trigger me. Then I'm going to be jealous. Then we're not going to be on the same page anymore because now she's above me. So why would you create that kind of competition for yourself? You won't. Like, think as a human being. Listen, every time you have problems with other human beings, it's like, shut up and sit down. Now tell me, put yourself in those shoes. Like, tell me. You know, because it's so easy for women, it's so convenient for you all to just label everybody toxic narcissist. Listen, in somebody's book, you're also toxic and narcissistic. So sit down, first of all, and just step into their shoes and think, okay, wait a minute. Why did they behave like that? What just happened? What did I say? What did they say? And be very honest with yourself. Very, very honest with yourself, and you will know why a human being acts the way they do. You are not naive 24/7. You cannot always be right. You cannot always be the victim. You cannot always be the one on the receiving end. Sometimes the other person is a human being too. You ever considered that? And I'm not talking to the ones who are really, really dealing with somebody who's really narcissistic. I'm just talking in general. It's so easy and convenient nowadays for females to label every man toxic and narcissistic. And sometimes, because I do deal with couples, and sometimes I'm like, this man is not showing me any such kind of signs. Well, I understand that he lives with you, so you probably know more. That's fine, that's understandable. But most of the signs he's showing is more like, you guys are not on the same page. There is less understanding. Yeah, there is less respect because of this and that. But he's not really a narcissist. He's not really a toxic person. He's very normal. He's just processing his feelings and expressions in a different way than you. That's what it is. But there's actually other reasons going on in the background. You gotta focus on those things, you know. And a woman of faith who has God on her side, she looks at things the way they are. She's not looking at the fluff, like the extra fluffy things on top. She's looking at the depth of things. This is what's happening. The respect is lacking. You know, the communication is lacking. That's why he's behaving this way. That's why I'm reacting this way. So every time you want to improve things in your life, remember faith, remember God, and remember before all of this, it's your decision. You make a decision, hey, do you know what? I want to be a woman of faith and God. Walk in faith, let's do this. But my decision also is that I want my marriage to work. My decision is I want this friendship to work. My decision is I want this business to work, to really generate cash flow. Bring me some money. I want to decide today that I'm going to manifest lots of money, generate wealth, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is you want, you decide first. Of course it's coming your way. There is no way it's not. And if you're doing the frequency work, then you're going to get there faster anyway because you know exactly the strategies and the steps and the mindset that you need to have to be able to do all of this. God, listen, even God cannot be on your side when you don't even know what you want. He's just going to give you, like, serve you random things. Okay, well, maybe this is best for you, whatever. But if you really say, hey, do you know what? I am praying for this with all my heart and I really want this. God is listening. Now God is listening. You know, this woman, well, this person knows what they want. They're asking me for it. How very innocent and sweet. Well, I'm here, take this. But God needs to know what you want because God wants you to pray and ask Him for everything that you want, even if it's like the smallest things. I was live today on my Facebook and one thing I was mentioning to the girls was like, stop feeling guilty when you ask for more. When you're a woman of faith in God, you don't feel ashamed. No, if you're judging yourself for wanting more, wanting better, desiring more, you think that, oh, maybe I'm being greedy, let me stop asking for too much. There's a problem with you. You're not really walking in faith, if that's what you're thinking. Because a woman of faith, a high quality woman, she's asking God. And she has full faith and full confidence in that what she's asking should be hers. Because why not? Because she deserves. No, because she wants. Because it's going to be the best decision for her according to her. Because it serves her. Because it's her desire. Because it's going to maybe make her more happy, more at ease. It's going to bring more peace in her life, let's say. Maybe she's going to glow more and be more happy with that. You know, they're not thinking if I ask for too much, I'm being a gold digger. If I ask for too much, I'm being greedy, I'm being this, I'm being that. That's like you judging yourself. Why are you judging yourself for? That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. No, 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 no. If you are a person who has good intentions and a good heart, I am telling you, you deserve the world. You know, because there's like evil, bad, really nasty, weird people that are so evil to other people, like all of those kinds of people that we have nothing to do with, by the way. High frequency people only, okay? But they do exist. Somewhere they exist, all those evil girls and the Korean boys. They exist, right? And they don't deserve anything. But if they want, even they will get it. Why? Because they shamelessly ask for it. They open their mouths, that's why. While you are a good person, with morals, ethics, godly person, let's say, high quality women in every sense, traditional, feminine, pretty, fit, this, that, you know, all of those things. And you feel guilty for asking for more? How does that make you high quality? Well, you are high quality when you ask for more and more and more and more because you know you deserve it, because you're a person of good faith and a good heart. When you get more and more and more in life, that means you're going to do even nicer things. You can serve the world in a better way. If my grandmother didn't have much, let's say, she wouldn't have been able to serve the world in such a way that she did. She had everything. She could help everybody. That's why she could serve this many people, that even after her death, 3 days, and there's people flying in from different countries for her. So when you're a good person with a good heart, you deserve more and more and more. Like, please know this. You don't deserve this average job with average pay, dealing with average Uber girls and Korean boys at workplace, and your bosses are crazy. That's not what you deserve. That's what you just chose. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. You didn't choose. You were put in that situation out of your, problems because of your circumstances, or majburi in our, language we would say. Majburi is like helplessness. Because of your own helplessness, that's why you are in the situation that you are right now. And you can fight with me all day over here. Well, I have no other option. Well, now you do. You do. You're a living human being. You can start your journey right now. Of course you have options. What are you talking about? You're living in 2023 now. But just know, if you're listening to this, now is your time. Like, now you have no excuse. How about that? How about maybe this video you had to only learn as a confirmation that, well, your time has begun, women. Go now. Go start the work. Do something. You gotta work on yourself. And the more faith you have and the more you have God on your side rather than the human beings, your life will always be magical. Weird coincidence will happen and you'll be like, what the hell is this happening in my life? Like me, for example. It's always magical. There's always coincidence. I'm always manifesting left, right, center, anything I want in the morning, whatever I say, by evening I got it. And even if it's small things, big things, whatever it is, even if I'm stressed regarding like some important matters in the workplace or with some clients, whatever, I am setting my mind, hey, oh my God, this is stressing me out, I don't know what to do about it. I'm meditating, I am listening to the money meditation in case I feel like I have some money blockages here and there, because here and there we can all have that, that's very normal. I would do that, I would work on it, I would remove the blockages and I'd be like, I'm ready to receive, that's it, done, the work is done, let's go. So your life becomes very, very magical. Things happen all the time and they surprise you every single time, and it's like, damn it, not me living my best life. How did this even happen? It happened because you are a woman of faith and God is on your side and you have a good heart, and that is why things happen. And I hope that if you're watching my channel, you will always be a person of good heart, because if you're not, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't need you in my course. I think I'm the only person on YouTube that literally tells people to not even sign up to my course, because I generally don't want Uber girls and like Korean boys in my courses. I want to work with quality people with good hearts and a great mind, open to learn, ready to do the work. Esha said this, makes sense, let me do it because I can relate to her. Wow, this is so true, I get it, like I understand, this is my story, I can relate to that. I'm going to do that. I like this. I think this is going to change my life. I want to do that. Like, that's the kind of people I want in the course, who are ready to learn, absolutely do the work. There you go. Like, contact me 3 months, 4 months, 6 months from now, and you will thank me anyway. That's the kind of things I want, because those are the only kind of people that actually take full advantage and they get the results. Everybody else will be like, I'm not sure, yeah, but not sure, I can't, no, this is my reason and this is my reason, and all of those excuses. And I think my course is just not designed for you. If you have way too many excuses on the plate, what you should have is hope, faith, God. Like, that's what you need to have on your side. If you don't, you're still not a high quality woman enough to be in the course in the first place, because the top 10% frequency course actually goes way above being the high value women. Like, this is all the basics that we're discussing, right? But you have to embody that. And I hope that this series that I'm doing, part number 4 today, I hope that this series helps you embody that high quality women, and then you will automatically know that, wait a minute, I am embodying that woman, I get it, but there's certain pieces missing. I need another container to keep me in this energy. I need a container to get me going and do more and more. I need a container that brings actual wealth and generates generational wealth in my life. That's the container I need, because that comes with responsibility and accountability, right? Let me do that because I need that container. And if that's where you're at, then of course my course is for you, and that's who I would love to work with, because I know that your life is about to change, and it makes me so excited to even think about that, like how it's just going to change your stuff, you know, like your life, your relationships, your money, everything around you is going to shift to another level, and you're going to unlock so much of your own potential that you didn't even know that kind of energy existed inside of you. You know, you're going to get aha moments and you will get there. That's what I can guarantee. And if you're up for it, ladyesha.com, get into the course. Well, there is coaching programs there where you can do one-on-one Zoom calls with me if that's what you like. If you want to discuss your business, the way to set it up in a feminine way so money comes easier with a bit more flow, a bit more openness. You know, if you think there's always like money blockages, it comes to you, but in such a limit that there's always like just enough. It's never really more than enough. It's always just enough or less than enough. No, it should be more than enough, right? That's where you should be at. So if you want that, this course is for you, because it's going to get you there. And I'm super excited for you. You can book the coaching where it's going to be one-on-one Zoom calls with me, where we can discuss what's going on in your life currently and come up with a plan and a solution and put you in the right direction and stuff. If you want to talk to me about certain problems, I'm here to listen. Or do the highly recommended course, the top 10% frequency course, because this is elite level education. So much about money, wealth, your health, your frequency as a woman that you just need to know. And it's going to like shift your mindset. It's going to reprogram you towards money completely, so you can call in abundance in your life, because you deserve to live in that. And that's what I want for you. Anyway, maybe I'm just that internet sister that you always wished you have living next door to you. One more point, High value women don't feel any social pressure, by the way. No social pressure. They do when things feel in their gut. Ah, this is right. My intuition is saying this. Listen, I'm in touch with my creative side. I know what my intuition is telling me and at what point it tells me what to do. I know, I'm listening. My ears are wide open, right? So when you're like that, you do not fall for like this social pressure, this social conditioning, this, that. You observe things on a very different scale and you know exactly why this is said by these kind of people or why this is done by this kind of people. You know, because you have maybe an observant mind or whatever, but high quality women have that kind of approach to things. You know, you can speak bullshit in front of them and then they'll be sitting there with cold eyes and they're not judging you, but they're just observing you and they're just like, does that make sense to me? I'm not sure. You know, you got to process data all the time. As a high value woman, a lot of things you will see around you and it won't make sense. And you have to be very good at processing things and knowing what is reality and what is wrong and what is false and what is real, original and authentic. That is a very good quality every high value woman will have. Even if you're lying, they will know. A high value woman also believes in divine timing, right? So as I said, no social pressure for anything. There's divine timing for everything and everything happens at the right time for them. They're women of God and women of faith. Of course there's divine timing for them. Everything is waiting for them at the right time to happen for them. They just know what's coming their way. They live with full confidence. So that's that, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I shall probably see you in my next video. And also, there's also an Amazon store that I just kind of created pretty recently, actually in the middle of the night yesterday, because I was like, oh my god, people ask me for book recommendations all the time, so let me just pile up everything together in like a little Amazon storefront, and then you can just go see them there. They're all, I mean, you're gonna get them from Amazon, but I have just like listed them there so you know which one you should buy and for what reasons. I have mentioned that, so go check out that. It's an affiliate link obviously, so you can check them out and get those books and start reading something. Pretty recently I asked you ladies to show me some support on my Instagram as well as YouTube, because yeah, I kill the algorithm every time I disappear and come back and then there's like no views. And I understand, like I am not very good friends with the algorithm because I don't play along the rules. You know, I'm supposed to be regular, do this, do that, all of those things. Since I don't follow rules, I just feel like, oh, I keep going down with it. But I need your help and support. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, maybe leave a few comments below. 3 or 4, however many you can write. It's just that more engagement of course helps the channel grow a bit more and like get more views and stuff, because I want people to listen to these things, you know. So if you want the world to become a better place, do it for them. Not even for me, like do it for the other females that you care for, that you also want them to grow. Don't be an Uber girl. We want everybody to grow, please, with us. Come up with us, all of us. Let's hold hands and let's go up, you know. You don't have to like, no, you stay down because I'm the one who's gonna go up. That's Uber girl. We don't do that over here. Anyway, thank you for watching.